So welcome to this Helix webinar series. Today's session is on what's new in Digital Workplace 25.1. Joining me today are two of our product managers, Karl-Anders Falk and Deepak Rudra. They will do their formal introductions when we get started. Before we do so, a couple of reminders. You will remain unmuted until we get to the live Q&A part at the end. However, please use the Q&A section of Zoom, not the chat. If you have any questions, we will answer those hopefully during the session and also some of them at the end. So we would ask you to be interactive. Just also a reminder as well, because we will be discussing some forward-looking content, we do have this legal notice, and in this legal notice, if you can just take a few minutes to read it. And while we're doing that now, Kaf, if we can move over to the agenda slide and if you can get us started, and hopefully you'll all enjoy. Over to you, Kaf.
Thank you very much. I'm back here again together with Deepak. It's just a couple of months back since we did 23.304. It's actually the, I think, shortest time frame between two releases, especially with Christmas in between. I think our team has done a great job to develop a lot of new functionality again that we want to share with you. So I will talk a little bit about Employee Navigator and the generative AI capabilities we have there. And then I will do a quick demo. And after that, Deepak will talk about the DWP specific improvements that we've done and demo that. And of course, Q&A at the end if you want to be interactive. But if you have questions in between, we'll try to answer in the chat as we go. So let me get started. We have since 23.3, I think most of you are on 23.3 now, one of the patch releases. And if you summarize here, it's around 100 features. And with this one, we are above 100 features since these releases. It's quite amazing. And if you haven't upgraded, please make sure to do it so you get access to all the new functionality. In this release, 18 things that we will talk about, most of them. Some of them are kind of invisible. They're more performance, security, accessibility, and language things, which we are not talking about today. The first one is about Helix GPT in Digital Workplace. As you might know, we have defined agents. We call them agents, which is the generative AI agentic framework we are using. They are powered by Helix GPT, and the one we have in DWP is called Employee Navigator. We are building out the capabilities, and we are also replacing the HVA, Helix Virtual Agent, the chatbot UI, with a new UI for generative AI capabilities. And this time we have added the capability to raise the requests and pick essentially all the question types from the questionnaire and make them available in the chat itself. There is, I would say, two more that we have to migrate to become at the same level as Helix Virtual Agent or the chatbot. It is the attachments, which are not supported yet, and it is the password, which is still not masked when you add it. So a little bit still, but you can do the majority of question types in the chat now, I would say. The table questions, we are probably not going to be able to use in the chat. They are a little bit too complex to turn into a dialogue. So that is probably better to do in a form. So that is one thing here. The question types, you can now publish a catalog item into Employee Navigator, and when it detects that you have been asking for it, it will start asking you the questions. I'll demo this later on. We are also adding more and more capabilities to ask about the data in Digital Workplace. So we this time added the service health status, and the good thing with this is that you can integrate with our AI ops tools, and if there is a situation, it can be integrated and shown here. So this is good, and there is one pretty nice thing which some people have asked about. It is why can't we launch the service health UI through a URL? Because you need to go to the My Stuff page and then to the service health page in DWP. Now with this, you can actually launch it from anywhere, so you can easily get there from a studio page or from a link outside DWP. So showing the status, you can ask about the critical ones. You can say show my services, and we'll see the ones which are favorited, and you can say all of them, and you get all of them and the status of all of them. Another one is the people records in DWP. You have been able to search for it. You can look them up, and you can get email addresses, phone numbers, and so on. So you can easily reach people and find people in the organization. And if you are using the social part of DWP, you can also chat with them in this if you click on the details page. I would say the major improvement we've done here is to enable Employee Navigator to see. So now you can upload an image and it will be seen, and the content will be read. Even if it is an image, it will actually be able to read what's on the image. So let's say you have a screenshot of an error message and you upload that screenshot, it will actually read what's in the image, and it's not done through OCR. We send it directly to the large language model. So if you have a GPT-4o as your large language model, it will actually take the picture, analyze it, and we get the text back, which means we can then look up a knowledge article and give you instructions for how to handle the situation. So not just see, but also hear. So it's got eyes, it's got ears now. This is the first step. In this case, it's listening and it's translating the voice into text. We're using the browser's voice to text translation, and then you can send it off. In an upcoming release, we are improving both of these functionalities. Next time you will be able to snap an image with the camera. You don't need to upload anymore. You can do it directly with the camera, so you can see the image. And when you talk, it's actually going to send it directly to the large language model as voice, stream the voice to the large language model rather than translating it to text first. So if you have played with ChatGPT on a mobile, you have the feeling that you can talk to it and it listens like if it was a phone call. That is what we aim at. In next release or the summer release, that will be available. Employee Navigator is available as a studio page. A search bar in the studio page can be the trigger of it. But we have also replaced the Helix Virtual Agent side panel. We did that already in the previous release, but it was a bit hard to configure. So now you have a UI where you configure either Helix GPT's Employee Navigator, or you can use the Helix Virtual Agent. That is up to you how you configure this, but you have both options, and they are in the admin panels of Digital Workplace. And then this feature is actually becoming more and more important than we thought when we started. And I realized how strong this thing is going to be. It started as some of you asking us to be able to have a link on any web page or a button on any web page, and then coming to the search results of DWP with a predefined search string. So if you click on the button, you get a search page. That we have implemented now, and we have created it as another kind of Digital Workplace Studio page. We call it a search view page. So it behaves like any other page, and when you go to that page, it will start searching. That is important. But even more important, you can also configure a prompt for Employee Navigator to do something for you. And this is going to empower you as DWP admins to very quickly build out a fleet or swarm of agents, agentic capabilities to your end users. I think it will be very powerful if you start building out small, simple prompts that are generating things for you. It's a little bit hard to explain verbally what this means, but I'll show it to you rather than maybe talk about it. So we have this autonomous agent, and in the agentic world you have agents, and the agents have tools. So let us explore that a little bit. I will actually ask the agent what it can do and what tools it has, so we get the information about that. So you can see here that we have a list of different tools, and you can recognize them. You can retrieve knowledge, you have people profiles, you can get requests and details of requests, you get approvals, appointments, and all those objects that we have in DWP. And when you get to this column, used to retrieve comprehensive and accurate information based on user queries. So this agent is autonomous, and it knows what tools it has, and it also has a reasoning for when it will be used. Typical agentic capabilities of an agent in this world, and that is why it can actually do things with pretty small instructions and still give you a lot of value. Now let's look at how the agent is actually asking you follow-up questions if you are a bit vague. Let's say I want to know the status of my laptop, order that I placed a while ago. So I say order here, which is a bit vague, It doesn't really know what I mean, so it will ask me, can you please provide more details? If I want to order a new thing or if I want some information about an existing information. So because it is a laptop, I will ask when will my laptop arrive? It will now go out and find that information about my laptop. Okay, I need to wait for the approval. So then I'm wondering who is going to approve this and when is it going to happen and how can I reach that person to remind them. Who is the approver and how can I reach that person? So it found someone. As you can see there, it's Paul Bunyan. And here I got the email address and the phone number. And I also have the order here again. And I also have a link so I can look up Paul Bunyan if I like. Very quick and very convenient. Now, when we go back to this page, we also have the agent available here, the Employee Navigator agent. So I can open the side panel, and I want to show you one more cool thing that you can do with the agent. So I will actually ask it, what is the min, max, and average age of requests raised this year. It will now require a little bit more work from the agent. It will have to first find those requests that are less than from this year, and it will then have to find out how old they are, and then it will calculate the other things. So let's see how that goes. So you can see how it's reasoning here. It's first listing them, it's calculating the age, and it is looking at the minimum and the maximum and the average of it. So, and you also have the tickets here in that you can look at. So let's do some other tests, but if you click here, it's gonna disappear and then it's coming back, and you see it's actually saving the state as it was before. So really nice that you can have it here on the side, and if you want to see the details or something, you can actually click on the details and you will see it here on the left like you are used to in DWP normally. So let's hide this one, and I now want to show you how the Employee Navigator is able to ask you the questions in the questionnaire of a catalog service. So I'll put, I need to demo all question types. So it will look in the questionnaire and start asking me the questions from the questionnaire. So this is just text in the text field, and I misspelled on purpose. I will now speed up the video a little bit and not talk so you can see what happens. So now I've responded to all of the questions, and as you can see, it has put the text area is using some big text, and the other ones are filled in as I did before. I can now change and, for example, correct this misspelling here. So we can just do this, change the text field to, and I correct that thing. So now if I want to submit this, I can just type yes here. And as you see, it generated a request ID, and if I click on that, I can review the request in the details screen of DWP. So all good. Now let's look at how it behaves if I have a more advanced questionnaire with the table type questions on it. And as you can see, it didn't really start asking me questions this time. Instead, it's providing the link to the questionnaire. So if I click on the question on this one, it will open up the questionnaire, and it will be easy for me to use the UI, the graphical UI instead. And it has many pages, and you can search. So it's much more convenient than doing chat in this case, where you have a complex page with many things on it. And so now let me show you how Employee Navigator can see what's on your screenshot. I have a dishwasher, and every time I start it, I get this error message. So I'm wondering, how can we refill the dishwasher, because it's saying salt supply is running low. And now it's reading the image, and it's understanding what's in there, and it realized I need to fill salt. So it's pretty cool that you can actually see that it can see what's there. So thank you for that. As you can see down here, I have this microphone thing. So if I click on that, it will actually listen to me. But I need to approve the sound first. So allow while visiting the site. So now it's listening, as you can see here, but I really want to say show my impacted services. Show my impacted services. As you could see, it was listening, and it was turning it into text, and I can then send that off, and it's going to show me the services that are impacted. So that is what I wanted to show in terms of seeing and listening.
Okay. Let me know if my screen is visible. You guys are able to see
Yeah.
it.
Yes,
Thank you.
it's good.
Thank you. And thanks, Kaf, for covering the Employee Navigator demo. So there were questions around are all the enhancements around Helix CPT? Answer is no, but yes, majority are. So we are going to cover the second half now, which talks about enhancements on digital workplace. So in previous releases, multiple releases, you've seen we introduced this converged notification engine, which is on Innovation Suite. And then this in previous releases, you saw we introduced notification support for request, all notification templates for request, surveys, approval, and collaboration. In this release, we have new notification templates for service health and appointments. Our goal was to finish all the notification types, including the external portal that we have. We were not able to because of certain reasons, technical reasons. But in the next release, subsequent release, we will be done with all the remaining notification types. So what you can expect in this release, you will have service health notifications driven through the new notification engine, all the templates, all the use cases, and appointments. And if you have already migrated to the new notification engine, you don't need to really do anything. Those will automatically be added to your system on upgrade. The with last webinar that I did for the new notification engine, there were a lot of questions around locale preference. So I'm happy to announce that end users will be able to now change their locale preference for notifications from Digital Workplace. And this will be independent of the application locale. That's a big step forward because we had a lot of customers talking about this problem that, hey, you automatically pick up the notification locale based on your DWP locale preference, application locale preference. So that's going to change. So your principles for your localization of your screen does not govern anymore now how what your notification language will be for, what will be the language for your email notifications. So you will have options to select email notifications. Admins will have to go and make some configurations to allow this, and I'll show you all permutation and combinations when we get into the system. But the moment you change that, all your local notification preferences will be self-serviceable, that they will automatically change in CTM people form. And um, you don't have to really worry about what notification will be the notification language. It's in your hand. As an admin, you have to allow this setting. You only get this feature after you move to the new notification engine. So if you're using the old notification engine, this feature will not be available to you. So the prerequisite is you have to come to the new notification engine. And just to clarify again, when you change it here, it's a bidirectional integration. It will be updated in your CTM people locale settings automatically. So it's one single setting. Your admins don't have to really worry about it. And then you are making it self-serviceable. So your end users do not create tickets for your administrators to change that notification setting. Those of you who have the add-ons queue that we have for self-registered users and those who are already migrating to the new service management queue already know about self-registered registration portal that we have. And we have had a lot of ask about surveys not being available for self-registered users, that we had no capability of sending this out to them. Now, with this release, you will start seeing that there will be a notification preference under their user preferences, that once you enable the satisfaction survey uh, for DWP catalog requests only, it's not SRM, it's only DWP catalog, because we are not developing any feature parity item with SRM anymore. Our direction is for DWP catalog. So all services from DWP catalog, the ones that are migrated or in a hybrid mode or are authored natively in DWP catalog, will support this satisfaction survey. The satisfaction survey will come out from DWP catalog, the survey that you create in DWP catalog. Either you can have simple survey or a complex survey that you create, custom survey that you can create. Now it will be a setting for the external portal admin that you can toggle this on. The moment you toggle this on, a new survey notification preference will be visible to your end users in their user preference. And I'm talking only about self-registered users, not the normal DWP users, because they already have this setting. So now they will get the information about push and email notification. What is your preference for your survey? How do you want to leverage this? Then as you know, in previous releases, I've talked a lot about going more granular into settings on each request or each service rather. that you, as an admin, you can control a lot of features on each service basis. There are situations where you do not want your administrators or your end users to really request something on behalf of somebody else. Whereas you want service desk to really do that, you want people with elevated roles to really do that, but you do not want your end users to really raise request on behalf of somebody else. For example, on DWP portal, you do not want somebody else to reset password of somebody else. When it comes to the financial matters, you do not want financial matter related requests to be raised on behalf of somebody else. And I'll show you an example of that. Now you will have option that you can go into each native catalog service. As long as it is in DWP catalog, you can disable on behalf of request. This won't apply for SRM. We are not building anything for SRM. As you already know, we have a migration path for customers to move away from SRM with the migration utility. So I highly encourage to use that, you to basically use that functionality. And with this, you can actually disable on behalf of functionality for certain catalog items that you do not wish anybody else to raise on behalf of. A disclaimer, as I already said, your people with elevated permission, like for example, service desk agents, we are not restricting them because we understand that somebody else can call to a service desk agent and can say, okay, can you reset my password? In that case, you really need to do on behalf of. So this rule applies only to your DWP end user interface, something to keep in mind. That's where you can put level of granularity. You don't want some catalog items to be misused when you don't want it to be raised on behalf of somebody else. So as an organization, you can define that. And CAF kind of showed it that you have table type questions, multi-select questions where you can have, we never had capability to show selection values. So let's say there were like 76 pages in this example. You were not able to see your selection, even though you selected like five, you were not able to see those. Now with this, you will have option that multi-select. You can see your selection and you can revert back to show all. So it becomes easy for you to navigate. And this was highly voted item from a lot of you really that we want screen maximized for the catalog screen. The one that when somebody loads the catalog profile, this is always collapsed. We want this to be expanded. Now you have a setting that you can expand it by default, and I'll share an example and show you that example. Okay, and just before that, I need to connect to VPN. We were having some network connectivity issues, so I'll just quickly connect to VPN because I need to show this pre-released version to you all. So if you can bear with me for a minute, I'll quickly go over to my system. All right. I'm still connecting to the VPN. We can take up some questions till then. Let's see if you have any questions on things that I have presented so far. So I have a question on behalf of disablement, will it be good to have ability to change the description that request cannot be assigned to you anymore? So yes, we thought about it, and then the most logical thing that we could come up with is this. You can say on behalf of, some customers will not understand, and their users may not understand that what is really on behalf of. Every individual has a different terminology, but this is the most appropriate one that we understand, and it directly relates to that it's assigned to you or assigned by assigned to somebody on a portal, really. So there is a difference between terminology that you understand as an admin versus end users. So this is more end user centric. All right, I don't know what's really going on with the system. Okay, yes, apologies for that. So, first example, I'll quickly just show you always expanded screen. So here you can see it's non-expanded right now. Okay, you have show more. which comprises of some rich text thing. But then let's go back to DWP administration. Under configuration, you will have a setting that you can toggle. So it says expand catalog services by default, and that's how it's basically done. So the moment you start navigating, or when somebody refreshes their screen, the new property is automatically set, and then they don't have to really re-log in. But now if I just log in, you can see that it's automatically expanded. So that's something that a lot of you have been asking for. So that's one feature. The other one is, for selection, multi-selection, to show only selected values. So in this example, if I just go and request now, you can see I have a table which, 97 pages really. So I'm just going to quickly make some selection. As you saw, I just made some selection on page number 1, then I'm doing it on page number 93. Now I'm going to page number 95. Let's make as many selections as possible. Okay, so we have 12 selections now. Now what if I just want to see a consolidated list? So I just click on it. It's going to show me 10 of 13 on one page, then I have another page, and it's only going to be my selections. So that I can quickly uncheck that, and that's gone, and the number is updated. So a lot of you asked that it's a usability improvement. We really want this. It becomes too difficult when handling with tables multi-selection, and we listened to you guys, and we made this change. All right, and moving back to the next one, which we talked a little bit about on behalf of. So this is an example of referral bonus payout. You do not want this to be raised on behalf of somebody else. Right now, as you can see, it's actually enabled. So what I'm going to do as a DWP catalog admin, I have this catalog service for referral bonus, and I can just go and say disable on behalf of request for this particular service. Again, as I said, it's not valid for SRDs. Any SRD that's imported here or native catalog service will follow this rule. It needs to have the presence here. So now if I just go back, let's refresh it. I mean, you don't need to even refresh it, but just for sake of time so that it doesn't go into any issues, I'm just doing it right now. So let's go to the employee referral bonus. And then you can see it's a lock here, and then you won't be able to edit this anymore, right? So I mean, we could have hidden this, but we don't want to hide it because somewhere your users will get confused. That's why do I have somewhere this as editable, whereas on some areas I don't have this editable. So everywhere you go, you're going to see requested for as non-editable in this use case. And let's go back to the other use cases. So we talked about notification for service health. So, and I kind of answered some questions there for people, those who asked, what is your plan for AIOps integration? Yes, we have it on the roadmap, but until then, you have APIs that you can obtain from from our um, customer support, and you will be able to integrate. So we have some of our customers, those who have used Ansible to call our APIs from AIOps, and then they can automatically toggle a service health, and it automatically happens here. But in the future, yes, we have a plan. We already had this integration with a product called BPPM previously. And our idea is with BHOM AIOps, you will have the similar kind of integration. But until then, you can ask for the APIs, and you can integrate with APIs to toggle the service health. So open a support ticket, and they can guide you with the knowledge article on how to do it. So you have MS Outlook service that my user is automatically subscribed to. I'm just going to change it to performance issue. And I'll say impacted for last 3 hours, right? Yeah, and I'm going to save this, and we'll wait for the notification. While the notification comes out to me, I'll just quickly show you the notification templates. So refer back to my previous webinars. You have notification templates that are available for digital workplace under this setting. You will have new template listed here. And my apologies, the system, I don't know, for some reason is pretty slow today. That happens usually with live webinars, but I hope you all really like us showing you things live, not recorded. So that's more important. So you have new templates called service health status change. Then you have appointments, appointment cancelled, comments on appointment, right? Sorry, appointment cancelled and appointment. So two notification templates, and you can, as I said, they will be for global company. You can always go and personalize those. So you can always go change the subject, body, like I already explained it to you in the previous webinars. You have all the flexibility to go and change the body as well. For some reason it's still loading, but yeah, rule is same really, right? And like I showed you before, what you can do with this, it's so powerful. You can have runtime variables, all of that replaced, and you can also do the HTML editing on the source. So yes, you will see all these templates, and the notification process and all will automatically inherit all these events. You don't have to really do anything. It will be pushed into your system the moment you upgrade. So while we were talking, I just got the notification, and I'll share it with you all here. As you can see, I have this available, and then yeah, to change to the performance issue, I can add more details about this, like the annotation I had, I can add it here. It's all up to me really, as part of the customization that you can do to the notification. And I know a lot of you have raised support tickets on the customization. So yes, please work with support, and we are also putting R&D resources to help you, guide you on the customizations. How do you do that? All right. So last but not least, the preference for localization selection. So before I do that, under the configurations where you have new email settings, email engine settings, email and notifications, you have a setting called recipients can change their notification language. This has to be checked. If that doesn't happen, your end users will not see, there is no edit button. They will not be able to change it. Okay. So you need to, as an admin, if you're opted for the new notification engine, you have to go and make that change. The moment that happens and it's automatically inherited to all the users, this becomes an editable field. All right. So you have new application locale split up between the application language and notification language. So for Liam, the user that I'm logged in right now with is having English US locale. Let's quickly see that English US locale, and then I can just go and edit this to Canadian French, for example. Or yeah, let's do Canadian French. Save. So this becomes a centralized place for sync up, and you can see the locale has changed to Canadian French. Any notification this person has will now use Canadian French. Now, if you, let's assume, how does the end user know that the notifications are enabled or not? If notifications are set to none, and this editing is still on, whereas I mean you are telling user that you have a notification preference for your local, but um, you practically in your people form, the delivery mechanism is set to none. So we will have this warning here where in the notification settings, they will know that they are still editing, but email notifications has been disabled by your administrator. So hinting them to go ahead and contact them. The moment you basically change it, the administrators change it to email or alert, this banner will go away automatically from here. So it's just a fail-proof mechanism. And in case something goes wrong, that a language is selected that's not supported by DWP, right? This will automatically fall back to English US. Okay. And if user tries to change to a non-supported language, for example, they will be told that it's a non-supported language. You'll be fallen back to English US automatically. So that's pretty much it from my side. Will open the forum for questions. How are we doing on time, Samantha? Can you hear me, Sam?
We we are 5 minutes before the full hour, so we are
Okay, we have
good.
time. Okay.
Let's go through the questions maybe then.
Yes. Okay.
Most of them are for you, I think.
Okay, and so the appointment notification will be localized in this version? Absolutely. I already explained you guys in the beginning. Anytime we release any functionality in the notification, they will be localized. So yes, a localized version will be available. Where you edited the template, there you will have capability to select different locales and see all the available locales. If you don't like something that we have localized, you have your own preference, feel free to go ahead and modify that. will there be a Hebrew locale? So as long as DWP supports it, so we are not adding any locale support right now, but as long as DWP is able to support the language, you will have a notification triggered for that. And in my previous webinar, I have shown you how to add support for the new locale for for this, and then how to basically add it here. So yes, you will have capability, but you will have to do a little bit of customization. Right now, we are not shipping any locale support. So if you want something in Hebrew, you will have to look at my last webinar, and there is some information on the docs also available that how can you add another locale that's not supported by DWP, and how can you add templates in that particular locale. So go ahead and look for it. If you still can't figure it out, then contact BMC support and they'll guide you with steps. So survey enablement, can that be enabled in bulk for all external users? Um, so this question, like enablement, it's enabled on a service level, honestly, or you default it to a default survey. So I don't understand your question of bulk, enabled in bulk, honestly. Um, the
Just
moment
gonna,
you have,
I'm
yeah.
gonna unmute Gurprad. If you want to speak to us, Gurprasad, can you hear us?
Yeah, so can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah. So I guess this is a feature introduced for all the external users who have been configured in the system, right? That's the point.
That's right.
So instead of each one of them going and enabling the email plus
Oh,
push,
okay. Yeah, yeah.
so
Yeah, absolutely. So that's
can
a
you just
that's a feature that's already available, Balachandra, that you can already set preferences when a user onboards. But again, that's only when somebody will self-register. Existing users won't have that, and existing users, you'll have to educate them. We don't have a data wizard kind of functionality where you can push a preference to everybody, but we have something which is there to set the preference for anybody who joins new. So the moment they log into DWP for the first time, self-register, automatically the preference will be set up. Yes, that's available today, and that will be applicable to external users also. But we cannot do anything for existing users because it's an end user portal. They have already personalized their preference. We don't want you to override that because it's an end user product, honestly. They will make up in the morning and say, okay, why all of suddenly my preferences have changed? That can cause a lot of chaos to your end users.
okay. Sure. Thanks.
So next, okay, I see Mark has a question. Yes, Mark, please go ahead.
Yeah, I actually have no question. I just want to celebrate you guys. You are doing a really great job. I don't know if you, Deepak, bring this or your team is so good, but I like the concentration on the little things, and you are doing a great job. Thank you very much for this, yeah, to every one of you.
Thank you so much. Your words really means a lot, and that's a impression of our hard work, that we are putting in the product.
Thank you.
Trying to do our best. And then yes, let's be interactive on communities. We want to hear from you all. What are the areas, and to others also, if you see an idea raised, please try to vote and try to add a lot of your comments that we need in our organization. It really helps us engaging what is really more important, right? What is more strategic from our investment standpoint. So please support others, those who raise ideas, and add your comments or at least vote. If you can add a comment, that will be best. If you can vote against it, that is minimum that I request you all to do. So
Definitely.
in interest of time, we have a lot of questions. We may not be able to get through all of those. We will work
Mm.
with Samantha to answer those and get back to you as a final summary of this webinar. Um, do you want to end the webinar now, Samantha, and maybe we can follow up on questions later on?
Um, I mean, if people have got a few more minutes, we've got another 5 or so minutes. I don't mind you going through one or two more, and then the rest we'll put into the blog post. For those that may have asked, we will be sending out the recording, the slides, and all the details that have come for today. So don't worry about taking down any notes. But yeah, if you want to take one or two more questions, Deepak.
Yeah. So I have a question from Simon, which is about the API for service health that existed already. I think you'll have to contact, like if it's really important for you, if you already have BHOM, AIOps, and you want to integrate like a situation toggling the service health, yes, ask for it, and they will be able to provide you some APIs. It's not publicly available information, so you'll have to ask for it, and then you can just choose and try it out whether it works for you or not. But yes, BHOM, AIOps integration is in our roadmap, really. So the
Thanks,
next
Deep.
question from Mamadou is, will disabling request for functions for SR affect people with service catalog agent or enhanced? No, I kind of answered that. That's only for end user, when end user UI. Elevated permissions will not have that problem because we understand the need for access to those services. So your agents, your managers, elevated permission, they won't have that problem. It's only going to be end user. Can we customize email templates now on DWP and HTML? Absolutely, yes. And I request if you can look at my previous webinar. I have around like 1 hour something minutes. I have entire section where I'm talking about customization and how did I customize a template. So please take a look at it.
I'll send out that link, Deepak, when we've connected, so everyone's got that webinar link.
Yeah.
Kaf,
And
I
then
can. Oh, sorry, go on.
another question from Simon is, if notification locale is already set, will that be shown as default when enabled? Yes, answer is yes. It's a bidirectional integration. So it's not just that DWP setting something, it's reading it on runtime. So yes, if it is set, it's going to be rendered, but you got to make sure that you enable toggle that setting that end users can modify it. If you don't want that to happen, do not want to make it self-serviceable, just keep it unchecked. They will be able to see the existing locale, but in a read-only format.
Okay, one more. Do you want to take one more?
Kaf, you want to take any of your question around Helix GPT?
I don't
Employee
think
Navigator?
are there still any left? I think most of them are already answered. That thing about disabling the submit button, I don't remember exactly how that works. We need to find that community post. I don't know if Pascal or Mark or any one of the more experienced WP consultants.
Yep, thank you. It's we don't know about something new, some new feature. We do now disabling by some fake question. So
Yeah.
and I think there is some definition. I don't know if you can disable submit for I don't know what, but we need something dynamic like hidden question which must be filled or something like this, so we can decide if we allow submit according the answers which were done, so sometimes even when you have all required fields filled, you don't want to allow submit because of something else, yeah, because the combination is wrong or something like this, that would be great. And because we cannot have hidden question with required etc., then we have no possibility to do this by actions or something. That would be something good, but it's not like, wow, we need it now. Yeah, it's nice to have.
Yeah, nice to have. Yeah, I see. It's not uncommon that we get that question, Deepak, right?
Yeah. Will writing into a custom hidden field, will that help with combination of multiple answers? Is that something
Of
that's going to help you?
of course, yeah. That would be something. Hidden question required. It sounds really not correct, yeah. But this
Yeah.
would be some solution, because now we can have a question which is required, but we put there some query which doesn't return any entry. And we write there, this is a fake question, you cannot submit because you did not do this. This looks stupid, It's like text field with regex which cannot be filled,
Yeah.
These are workarounds, but we need something like we display a message and we say you cannot submit because this combination is wrong, something like this.
Yeah. So
I
we
have
we already
no
have.
exact idea what will be the great solution,
Yeah,
no? But
we have this validation through IS process, right? But that's, that's on the
yes,
text field, so you can use one of that, but I definitely understand that that doesn't fulfill all your needs, really. So there you can submit
I
it. You
can
can,
write you exact use case and why this is required. Okay.
yeah. And then just for your information, we are working on a feature that's where you can get answer from multiple questions and concatenate it. You will be able to do math operation, you will be able to
That
do string operations.
that's so lovely.
Yeah,
Thank you. Or
absolutely. Thank you.
setting answer from one question to another question
You will be
or
able to do that.
combination.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So
Wow.
let's say you have A and B, you have cost value in if A question A and question B, you want to do math on A and B. So C is A plus B. Yes, that's
Lovely.
on the roadmap.
Lovely.
That's work in
We did
progress.
it through RESTful now, and this was crazy. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.